Hey, Martin and Chelsea Matthews here. Today we want to talk to you about something that you may be experiencing. If you have had an increase in your business or your income, you could be feeling overwhelmed and have like some uncertainty about like, what do I do with this money? It's a good problem to have, but it's still a problem. And a lot of business owners we talk to experience this. Overwhelm, frustration. What do I do with this money? I've worked so hard to make this money and now I'm getting some rewards, but I don't know what to do next. I don't know if I'm making the right decision. So it's something that we're going to dive into. And if you're experiencing, stay tuned because we're going to talk to you about what you can do.
Yeah. So first of all, congratulations on your growth. It's always great when, when you're like, okay, so I've been working hard to grow my income, grow my business. Sometimes people put in years of hard work, especially if you're a business owner. Maybe when you get started, things aren't always easy. It feels like you're pushing this giant boulder uphill. And then you start building some momentum. You start getting things going. You start making some more money. And then you go into this cycle where you're like trying to get the thing uphill and you reach to this point where you've got some money flowing in. And then first thing, you want to congratulate yourself on going past some of those breaking points and you made it to a certain level. And then now it presents new problems, new issues. If you're having the same old problems, that's not the greatest thing. As you're expanding, you'll reach into new situations and new games to play. So we're going to talk about handling those new games, how to play those new games properly, and what exactly you're doing.
And don't just stop at the celebration. Don't just pat yourself on the back and then stop moving and growing, because that is detrimental to your growth. When Martin and I reach a target, a milestone, something that we've been working towards, this is what we do to celebrate. Yeah. Awesome. Let's go to the next one.
We're high five, and you always got to have the next game brewing, because otherwise when you a lot of times people think when somebody reaches a certain level, they just stop and become idle. If you just stop and become idle and don't have a new game to play, you'll start declining. Something will decline. Your health will decline. Your joy will decline. When you're playing games, and the next game or the next level you're trying to reach to, you start expanding more and you stay more engaged.
Yeah. So what's an example of... Because we talk to clients all the time and we help them in this exact situation who have had growth in their business, growth in their income, and they're like, I'm feeling overwhelmed. I feel like there's just all this complexity now. I'm not sure what to do next.
So actually, it makes me think of one of our clients that we had. So during... we met them before the whole government shutdown. When the world shut down, we knew these were our clients beforehand. So we actually saw them grow very rapidly. The services they provide was much in demand during that time, and their business grew and expanded, exploded big time. And so what ended up happening is when you have this big growth, or you're trying to get things going, and then it really starts working for you and starts firing on all cylinders and you're making some money. What starts to happen is operations can start breaking down. So when they started looking at operations, it just seemed like they were very, very scattered. It was just like every day running. And you can't really run or operate a business or a life where every day you're just constantly running like a chicken with its head cut off. You gotta have and put in some order and some structure. So one of the things we talked to them about was really, okay, so how do you organize your activities? How do you organize your finances? Because then things will start getting missed. Charges will get missed, different things like this that shouldn't be happening if you have a surplus in your business or your finances. So keep that in mind as you grow and expand, that once you have a big growth, you got to put in the level of order in your finances and your business so your operations can keep running smoothly. Yeah,
here's another thing that you could be experiencing is the pressure to sustain the growth.
Yeah.
So like with us in our business, when we very first started hiring people, we got to a point where, we got some of that organization in place of who's doing what and how are we doing it, and becoming more efficient at doing the tasks. And then it's like, okay, we need some help. Like we can't just do everything on our own if we want to sustain this growth and we want to continue. And so we started hiring. and to be able to take tasks off of us, to be able to get some help so that we can focus on the areas of growing and expanding the business, the brand, the income producing activities.
Yeah.
And so then it's like your goal in that, in hiring more people, is to take tasks off of you, to give you more time and attention to focus on the growth of the business. But then what happens also is then you're training people, and you're training them in their tasks and in their hats and what they're supposed to do. And then it's almost like, it became almost like more tasks and more jobs, because then we're handling all of our things and then we're teaching the employees what they need to be doing. And then that could be overwhelming, and it can feel like, oh my gosh, is this even worth it? And then you're paying, then your expenses go up. And so it's also of having each step, each level that you get to in your business, it's about, there's something called cope and organize, of being able to cope, keeping the business activities going, your successful actions going, and then putting some organization in also. So being able to have those hats, those jobs, those tasks organized and written down and training in place, so that you're not like adding on more and more and more jobs just to be able to take more and more tasks off of you. So that's something that we had to do continuously as we brought on people, as we put in organization, as we coped to continue our successful actions so those didn't drop out.
Yeah.
Hey, Shannon, good morning.
And then one other thing is like how to allocate resources. Like if you start, this is one question we get asked often with our business owner clients. So they're like, okay, I started making more and more money in my business. Things are working well. I'm happy they're progressing in the direction I wanted to go to. And then it's like, well, how do I allocate resources? Do I hire more staff? Should I, expand my office space? It goes from everything from like, should I buy new furniture? Should I buy new computers? How to allocate resources? And so one of the biggest things you'll find out is you always have to look at your labor costs, especially if you have employees, because this is one of the biggest expenses outside of like taxes. Is one of the biggest expenses for a business. However, what you have to look at is if you're hiring people, what is their production? And the production doesn't always have to be how much money the person's making, but they can contribute to that. So let's say you have a dental office, for example, and then you've got a receptionist. The receptionist may not directly be involved in making sales, but the receptionist is public relations for your office. If somebody comes into your office for the first time and the receptionist is not friendly, doesn't pay attention, they're upset, they're chewing gum, or they're on their phone, whatever it is, what impression?
Yeah. What impression? You in your business.
Yeah, they're not helping your business. So then you want to look at how are you allocating resources, and this happens in your personal life when you start increasing your income. You start having more questions. The financial mistakes people make aren't when they're broke. When you don't have any money and you're trying to get some money and you're trying to pay your bills and the basics, your issue isn't investing. Your issue, you don't have, the only financial problem you have at that stage is making more money. Once you start having a surplus, your business starts doing well, you're paying your staff, you're doing all these things, and you're having profits, right? You're paying all your taxes, all these different things, and you're having profits. That's when all kinds of random ideas start coming out. And then how you allocate. People. Yeah, and that's where you can start making financial errors and mistakes. So make sure you're doing things that aligns with where you're trying to go, which means you have to know where you're trying to go with your business, where you're trying to take your business. And that's how you start looking at, I invest in things that's in my future, where I'm trying to grow and expand. Sometimes that involves hiring people. Chelsea and I spend a lot of money on personal development. Why? Because as we grow and expand, our business grows and expands, we have to continue to grow and expand. So we invest a lot in those kinds of services.
So here's another thing you could be experiencing, like when Martin's talking about having this surplus of money, and now you have a surplus of opportunities and options, and there can be a fear of making the wrong decision. And so a lot of business owners or people who have an increase in their income, they have a fear of making the wrong decision. And so sometimes they don't make a decision at all, or they do make the wrong decision, or they don't know how to evaluate the data. And an example, we had somebody years ago come to us who had received some money in an inheritance, and they wanted to make sure to make this money last, protect it, but they really hadn't made a lot of financial investments or financial decisions in the past. So making the wrong decision with this money was a big fear. And so much so that they actually didn't make a decision at all. And now years later, like if they would have done that plan that we put together based on what their goals and what their needs and wants were, their money would have doubled or even tripled and been protected with no risk of loss. But now it's just kind of dwindling away because they were afraid of making the wrong decision. And so making the wrong decision sometimes can be, or not making a decision at all sometimes can be just as bad, if not worse, of making the wrong decision. You know, at least if you make a decision, you're moving in a direction and you can adjust. And so it's important, if you feel a fear or overwhelm of like making the wrong decision or not knowing who to trust or how to evaluate data, you need some stable information to base your decisions off of. And we've talked before about having an investment policy. So you need to have some stable information that you compare and look at making your decisions so that you know if something fits what you're looking for and what you need or not. Because especially as your income and your opportunities and your options grow, there's going to be more people coming to you, or you're going to be, you know, you might have fear of missing out. You hear some investment or something is like doing really well and people are in this thing and you're like, oh, now you have the opportunity to get into it. But you need to be able to evaluate if this is the right decision for you or not.
Yeah.
And so that's something that we help a lot of our clients to do, is put together a financial policy so that you can very easily and quickly look at something and evaluate and know if it's the right decision for you and your financial goals or not.
Yeah, so you operate based on policies in your life. Like a policy would be like, for example, if you're running a business, your policy would be, you know, refunds in 30 days or whatever it is. Whatever the policy is for something. A policy is the governing rule of how you operate something. So most people do not have a policy on how they invest. So as a result, they don't know if something fits their investment policy, their investment goals or not. A lot of people are just doing something that other people are doing without fully understanding why. So a lot of times people come to us and they're like, hey, I've got this money. I want to invest. I want to put it somewhere. I want to do something with it. One of the things we look at and help them develop is, what is exactly your investment policy? How are you actually, what are you trying to do? And what are you trying to solve? And a lot of times people think, oh, I invest because I want to make money. That's a given. That's the byproduct of investing, making money. But why are you making money? Like, what is the money supposed to do? The money is just a tool. It's not the end result. It's supposed to help you do something, whether it's to help you create freedom and everything like that. And then you map out exactly what you're supposed to do. That's how you know if something's on track or not. Then you can monitor if something's on track or not. But if you're just investing just to invest, you don't know if what you're doing is on track because you don't have an overall goal. And this happens at all kinds of different economic levels. There's multimillionaires that we talk to, and the person has no clear goal on why they are investing. They're just like, oh, I should be investing. So once you start to understand and you start to have a clear financial or investment policy on what you do, what you don't do, what your target rate of return is, how much your money needs to earn over what period of time, it's much easier to pick what is the right thing to do and eliminate all the wrong things. There's a bunch of wrong things to do. The thing is eliminating the wrong things to do and then doing the exact right things for you.
Yeah, so the way that we put this together for you is really by putting a strategic plan together. And the way that we do that is we look at your complete financial picture, your whole financial house, all of the areas that make up your financial house. And this is something that most people have never, ever, ever done and don't really have a way of doing. So we have where we look at all of the areas of your finances. We can see exactly what areas are strong, what areas are at risk, and exactly what needs to be done to strengthen those areas, to grow and expand the areas that are strong. And then we look at your financial purpose, your financial goals, what you're looking to accomplish. And then we put a strategic, customized plan based on all of those things. So that's why no plan is exactly the same. Mm-hmm. There's financial principles and concepts and rules that we use. But your financial picture, your financial situation, your financial house, your business is not exactly the same as anybody else. So it's important to be able to get a clear, a real, actual present time picture of what your financial house looks like, and being able to plug those holes of any areas that could be at risk so that you can continue to grow and expand and reach your financial goals.
Yeah, so if you want to learn more about how we do that, or if you want some of that for you, send us a message. We'll help you understand how to put these different things into place, how to operate, how to operate effectively when it comes to this, and how to handle the growth that you've had in your business and in your finances. I've seen a lot of people's finances grow. I know sometimes you hear that it's hard, it's tough out there, and everything's expensive. This is true. But it doesn't mean there aren't people who are making a lot of money. So if you've had a growth in your business, whatever that growth represents for you, and you're like, hey, I have questions about what to do next. I've been growing my business. I've been expanding. I've been putting in the work. I've worked really hard to get to where I'm at. And now I want to get to the next point. I know exactly what to do from here. Send us a message, and we'll be happy to share with you some of what we do and the concepts that we share with our very affluent clients that could be helpful for you in reaching your goals.
Yeah, so remember, growth can be exciting. It can also be overwhelming. And so it's important to be able to recognize the signs and look at, where am I feeling overwhelmed? Where am I feeling confused? And then ask for help. Like Martin said, reach out. We're here to help you. Stay tuned for more strategies and insights. Let us know what you're feeling overwhelmed about. And remember to like and share. Share this with any other business owners that could be experiencing this as well, because we're here to help. And we look forward to hearing from you.
All right. Appreciate it, guys. Thank you.